Hello students, today we are going to learn a new lesson from Unit 2, 2.4, The Fall of Troy, Part 1. Let's learn about the title first. Fall means defeat or destroy, and Troy is the name of the city. It means the defeat of Troy city. Before to learn about details story of Trojans, we will learn what is an epic. So, students, epic means a long poem which tells us about great deeds of hero, adventures of hero, and past history of a nation. We all well known about our two great epics, right? Ramayana, which is written by Sage Valmiki. This tells us about Rama and the deeds of Rama. The second great epic is Mahabharata, which is written by Ved Vyas, tells us about the great deeds of Pandavas, isn't it? In short, both the epics tell us past history of our nation. Students, how we learn about Ram, Lakshman, Pandavas, same way Europeans learn about their heroes like Hector, Achilles, Menelaus, and Helen. Students, how our Indian students knew about the Ramayana and Mahabharata? Same way, in European countries, the people knew about their great epics like Iliad and Odysseus. These are the two epics which were written by a blind poet, Homer. He had recited and sung those poems. Here, the lesson Fall of Troy is a part of the Iliad written by Homer. Before to see the story The Fall of Troy, we will learn the main characters of the story. See here, this is a war between the Greece and the Troy. This is considered as a 10 years war, very longest war it was. The Greece nowadays or in the present days we people call it Sparta, and Troy at present we are calling it Turkey. The people those who lived in Greece called Greeks in this lesson, and the people those who lived in Troy they are called Trojans. Let's see the characters from this Greeks and the Trojans. From the Greek, we have Menelaus, the great king of Greece, Helen, his wife, Achilles, Greek war hero, and this side, the Trojans, we have Priam, the king of Troy, Hector, eldest son of Priam, and Paris, a prince of Troy. These are the main characters of this story. Let's learn about the actual story, The Fall of Troy. The Fall of Troy, Part 1. Epics are long poems that relate the deeds of a great national hero or a great national war. They often tell of a nation's early history. They may be composed and sung or recited for many years before they are actually written down. This we have already done what is an epic and how epics are passed from one generation to the another generation in the which were written in the poem form. The two famous Sanskrit epics are the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, and the two great epics of European literature written in ancient Greek are the Iliad and the Odyssey. Just as in Indian literature, we go back to stories from the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, so in the literature of Western countries, they go back to the Iliad and the Odyssey. Yes, how we all know Ramayana, Mahabharata, Western countries, the children know about the Iliad and the Odyssey. Just as children all over India know the names of stories of Ram and Sita, Yudhishthir and Arjuna and Draupadi, all these are the characters from the Ramayana and Mahabharata. So, children in Western countries know the names of Hector and Odysseus and Achilles and Helen of Troy, the most beautiful woman in the world, because of whom the Greek and Trojans fought for 10 long years. Yes, or no, students, in Ramayana also we had a very beautiful woman called Sita, and in Mahabharata, Draupadi. Same here in the Iliad, there was the woman Helen, who was the wife of Menelaus, was the most beautiful woman in the world, and because of her, this was the main reason whom the Greek and Trojans fought for 10 long years. Nobody knows for certain who the author of these early epics is. It is thought that they arose and developed with the nation itself and were handed down from singer to singer till perhaps one great poet gave them their final form. Now, students, see here, there was no certain or a true author of these two early epics, means Iliad and Odysseus. But the people thought that these epics were developed with the nation itself. Why? Because it is handed down from the singer to singer. And who had sung that? We all know, a blind poet, Homer. It is believed that the Iliad and the Odyssey were composed and recited by a blind poet named Homer, who lived about 900 BCE. You all know what is BCE, before Christ era, and who wandered from one Greek city to village. Who wandered from one Greek city or village to another, singing his poems to all who would receive him in their homes and give him hospitality. So he was the poet, the Homer. What he used to do? He used to recite those poems or the epics in the poem form. And what he was doing? He was roaming from one place or one village to the another village. Wander means what here? Roam. Hospitality means what? The people, those who are giving him hospitality, means a generous treatment or entertainment of guests and visitors. How do we do? Same way, wherever he was getting that hospitality, he goes there and he used to sing a song for them. And this way, he was called as the father of European poetry. The Iliad is the story of Ilium or Troy, a rich trading city in Asia Minor near the Narrow Sea that leads from the Aegean to the Black Sea. See here, students, you can see the picture along. Iliad, this is the story of Ilium or Troy. These are the name of the cities which is used to call a very rich and trading city in Asia Minor that leads from the Aegean Sea to the Black Sea. It was well situated, both the commerce and agriculture. Commerce means what? Commercially and agriculturally, the city was well developed. In front of the city was the sea over which sailed the ships of Troy. Now, in front of the city there was an Aegean Sea and all the ships sailed over there, and this is what the main, the main source of income where they used to earn money, because that particular area was near sea. Those ships were carrying goods and grain. At the back rose the high peak of Mount Ida, from which flowed many rivers and streams. See, backside of the city, you can see there was a huge peak or huge mountain Ida. Okay, from that mountain, so many rivers and streams were flowing. So, the valleys among the hills were well watered and fertile, with corn growing in fertile fields and cattle feeding on the rich grass of the meadows, while sheep fed on the slopes of the hill. So, overall, this passage describes the city was well situated and land was fertile, well watered, and as the land was fertile, the corns or the the grains were growing over there properly. and even cattle were feeding on that rich grass of the meadows. So everything was perfect. You can see in the picture also. Around their city, the Trojans had built a strong wall so that no enemy should attack them from the sea. The wall was so broad that people could stand and sit and walk on it. You know, if you observe the and see students, you can observe in the picture the wall was so broad that people used to stand and sit and walk on it. The great gates stood open and people could go to the seashore outside and come in as they pleased. But in time of war, the gates would be closed. But during the wartime, the gates were closed. And then the city was like a strong fortress, quite safe from all attack, protected by the walls surrounding it, as well as by the hills behind. So you can see the wall was so strong that the people used to stand, sit, walk on it, and protected from all the sides. Thus, Troy was a strong city, strongly protected by its wall and strongly defended by its brave soldiers. So, not only the wall, but the soldiers also were very brave who can defend their city very well. But all the kings and heroes of Greece had declared war against the Trojans. Now, there was one very important reason or immediate reason you can say that the Greece had declared war against the Trojans. The reason was Paris. We have already discussed Paris was the prince of Troy and the youngest son of Priam had persuaded Helen. Persuaded means what? He had convinced Helen, changed her mind. Who was Helen? Helen was the wife of Greek king Menelaus. And Paris persuaded Helen to elope with him. Elope means what? Secretly marry with him. So he had brought her to Troy, and what he had done? He had brought the wife of Menelaus, Helen, into the Troy city. So do you think Greeks will sit quietly? Of course not. And this is the reason the Greeks wanted to take revenge on Troy for the wrong done to Menelaus. They sailed to Troy and laid siege to the city. And what they have done? They wanted to take the revenge on Troy, and that's why they had come over there near to the Troy city. They sailed their boats into the sea and laid a siege to the city. The Trojans too fought hard, and the siege continued for 10 long years. So both the countries, both the soldiers, even the Greeks and the Trojans were very strong. Both fought very hard with each other, and this way this battle or war took place or continued for 10 long years. The fighting went on daily, but the siege did not end. On the one hand, the Greeks could not take the city, and on the other hand, the Trojans could not force them to sail away. So this way every day the fighting was there. Sometimes there was a fighting between the two people or in the group of the people. Sometimes there was a fighting between only single people from both the sides. But everyone was very strong. Greeks were not going, and Trojans couldn't force them to sail away. So every day the Trojans came out of their gates and the Greeks came out of their tents and ships, and the fighting went on. Sometimes there were great battles between the two armies. Sometimes there were single fights between two great heroes. Sometimes the Trojans had the better of it, and sometimes the Greeks. But still the fighting went on. Okay, both Trojans, Greeks, everyone, their armies, their soldiers were very courageous, brave, very strong. And this is the reason that the fighting went on continuously for 10 years. Next, great heroes on both sides were killed in the course of the war. Okay, those who were very strong, they were also killed. After leading the defense of his city for 9 years, the brave Hector was at last killed by Achilles. 9 after 9 years, the Hector, who was Hector, the eldest son of Priam, he was lastly killed by the Achilles, whom none could resist. But Achilles himself was killed later on by a poisoned arrow that entered into his heel, the only part of his body where he could be wounded. So finally, Achilles also was killed. How he was killed? Because the poisoned arrow entered into his heel. That's why he got killed. And this way, the brave soldiers of both the sides were killed. Still later, Paris himself was killed also by a poisoned arrow. The war, because of him, the war took place. That Paris also was killed later on because of that poisoned arrow. The Trojans were tired of being shut up in their city, and the Greeks were longing to see their homes again. But still the fighting went on. Even the Trojans, they were tired, no? Why? Because the gates were closed, so they couldn't come out and enjoy their freedom. Yes or no? And the Greeks also, they left their home, they left their families in their city and came over here near to the Troy city. They laid their siege, etc. So, though they were waiting to go home, but still the fighting went on. Understood, students? So, this way here we have completed part 1, where we have seen the fall of Troy and how the war took place for 10 years continuously, and the brave soldiers, courageous soldiers also died in that war. Next, what happens? The complex thing is there in this story that we will see in part 2. Okay? So, students, go through the story, read the story again, try to understand the characters and its meaning. I will send all the meanings and the notes related with this lesson through WhatsApp. Bye bye, students. Thank you so much. Take care.